Bruce Lee versus Scott Adkins. Few things in this world are as enjoyable as sitting at home after a long day and watching a good martial art movie. Admit it or not, we all love to see intense fighting scenes and the execution of exciting martial arts techniques. Over the years, the film industry gave us some iconic fighting films, some of which are true pieces of art. The actors' martial arts skills are the reason why their movies are very authentic and thrilling to watch. In this video, we are going to focus on two martial arts actors in particular, Bruce Lee and Scott Adkins, and try to answer the question, who would win in a hypothetical fight? But before we do this, remember to give us a thumbs up and a quick click on our subscribe button to get more videos like this one and support Brutal TV. Thanks! But for now, let's go back to Lee versus Adkins. Firstly, let's take a look at these two guys one at a time, starting with Bruce Lee, the most famous and skilled martial arts movie star ever. This man is synonymous with martial arts films. He was the first martial arts star, and he deserves all the credits for the rise of martial arts movies in the Western world. Lee is also responsible for inspiring millions of people around the world to take up martial arts or working out. Bruce Lee was born on November 27, 1940, in San Francisco. When Lee was 3 months old, his family returned to Hong Kong, then occupied by the Japanese. Apparently a natural in front of the camera, Lee appeared in roughly 20 films as a child actor, beginning in 1946. At the age of 13, after being involved in many street fights, his parents decided that he needed to be trained in martial arts. This was the start of Lee's training in Wing Chun style of Gung Fu, also known as Kung Fu, under the tutelage of Master Yip Man. In April 1959, Lee returned to the United States and began to teach martial arts. He called what he taught Jun Fan Kung Fu, which literally means Bruce Lee's Kung Fu. Later that year, he opened his first martial arts school, with many to follow. In 1964, at the Long Beach International Karate Championships, Lee got to perform the repetitions of two-finger push-ups, using the thumb and the index finger of one hand, with feet at approximately shoulder width apart. In the same event, he also performed the one-inch punch. These moves, along with his non-telegraphic attack, were just a few moves he became famous for. As well as this, he was also a former high school boxing champion and had studied judo and Kali Eskrima. Between 1966 and 1973, Lee developed his unique style of martial art Jeet Kune Do, or the way of the intercepting fist, with emphasis on practicality, flexibility, speed, and efficiency. He started to use different methods of training such as weight training for strength, running for endurance, stretching for flexibility, and many others which he constantly adapted, including fencing and basic boxing techniques. At the same time Lee's acting career began again, along with multiple acting roles, he also choreographed many fight scenes. Amongst some of his films were the well-known titles such as Way of the Dragon, in which he was given complete control of the film's production as the writer, director, star, and choreographer of the fight scenes. And of course, Enter the Dragon. It was 6 days before the release of Enter the Dragon that Bruce Lee died of a cerebral edema. Enter the Dragon would go on to become one of the year's highest-grossing films and cement Lee as a martial arts legend. We are now at the halfway mark, so just a reminder to like this video and subscribe to Brutal TV for more top-quality fighting videos. Now back to our two actors. Now let's take a look at Scott Adkins. Born in the United Kingdom on June 17, 1976, this English actor, producer, screenwriter, gymnast, and martial artist is mainly known for his action films. He first became interested in martial arts at the age of 10 after visiting a judo club with his father and brother. He first started studying Taekwondo and then went on to kickboxing, in which he became an instructor. Throughout his life, he also trained in karate, judo, jujutsu, Krav Maga, and ninjutsu. He started out as a British daytime soap opera actor before splitting his time between daytime TV and stunt action work. His first movie role was in a Hong Kong martial arts film called Extreme Challenge. Adkins got to work with some of the best action directors, choreographers, and stars in the East, from Wu Ping Yun to Jackie Chan and Jet Li. Starring roles in feature films soon followed with his portrayal of Talbot in Special Forces and Yuri Boyka in Undisputed 2: Last Man Standing. This was the film that was to break him into the mainstream with his villainous portrayal of the Russian MMA underground fighter. After this, Scott managed to land guest starring roles in bigger budget films including The Bourne Ultimatum, X-Men Origins Wolverine as Ryan Reynolds' stunt double, Undisputed 3: Redemption, Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning, and Triple Threat, to name just a few. Adkins has won numerous awards for his acting roles over his career, including 3 for his Undisputed films. He attends the gym 5 to 6 days a week and trains simply but hard, keeping weight and volume training in his repertoire. He does weight training 3 days a week and 2 days of martial arts-centric cardio. He can bench over 100 kilograms against his own weight of about 80 kilograms and does sprint training for heavy muscle growth. So a hypothetical fight between these two guys, how would that pan out? We think the most obvious answer would be that Bruce Lee would win. Simply, we think that his mixture of strength, endurance, speed, and technique is unmatched. He dedicated his whole life to martial arts, and he completely focused his time on how to become a better fighter. Scott Adkins himself idolized Bruce Lee, saying he was the greatest fighter ever. Scott even turned his dad's garage into his own dojo, complete with a shrine to Bruce Lee, which he bowed to every day. Even as a young boy, Lee was involved in multiple street fights, so he's had plenty of experience in real fighting. Of course, this doesn't mean that Adkins would be a walkover. Far from it. After all, as well as training in various martial arts techniques, he is a kickboxing instructor for the Professional Karate Association. We believe it would be all down to speed, and in our opinion, Bruce Lee would have the advantage on that score. Unfortunately, he is no longer alive, so we will never know for sure. But even if he were, we don't believe Adkins would want to fight his idol. Do you have a favorite out of the two? Which one do you think would win? Tell us about it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Brutal TV for more top fighting videos just like this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.